on, world? This is Grandmaster FAQs, and this is another Partynerdz exclusive. So to do a little bit of foreshadowing here, after seeing Spider-Man Far From Home, there's a couple theories as to how it can go. Since it was revealed by Mysterio as to who Peter Parker was and exclusively who the identity of Spider-Man was, there's certain ways to go about it into the next movie, just to kind of like throw it up there. But it seems as though, and I'm going to make just a strong theory here, Spider-Man 3 is going to be a little bit correlating towards a couple of comic books. One happened to be a cinematic movie that we already seen in Civil War, where Spider-Man has to reveal himself. Now, ultimately in Civil War, Spider-Man revealed himself because of the Superhero Registration Act. But he'll have to reveal himself to be Spider-Man and that he's been Spider-Man this entire time. But this is where it's going to fall into the back end of the deal, where a lot of drama is going to happen. The next series that came up after the events of Civil War was One More Day. In One More Day, Spider-Man, even though he revealed his secret identity, put his family at risk. So MJ, Aunt May had an assassination plot brought out amongst her, and MJ was being threatened countless and countless times. So even though this is like the worst critically acclaimed comic book out of the Spider-Man universe, they might want to pull, or might have to pull, some of the effects of what happened in that storyline to fill the plot in this movie. Spider-Man ultimately made a deal with Mephisto, who is pretty much the incarnation of the devil in the Marvel universe. And he wanted to get everything back right. He wanted his family to be safe, so he made a deal with the devil to kind of wipe away everybody's memory so that nobody would know his secret identity again. This was brought back to fruition to where people hated it because it was such a big part of the continuity of the character. It almost put Peter in an unpopular situation and a little bit of a backslide as a character, which kind of referenced and brought forth the emergence of Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? So not to say that he was brought up in the light of dwindling comic book sales because of One More Day, but to say that it possibly had something to do with it, so be it. So in the cinematic universe, if they pull from those two books and maybe even pull from a third to kind of like bring in the plot a little bit further as far as like the biggest ongoing plot, to where there's been speculation where Norman Osborn is primarily the big bad. Now, we know him as the Green Goblin, but behind the scenes, he is a manufacturer of government. He is a de facto leader as far as enabling and influencing politicians. So if he's brought into the fold, if Norman Osborn is finally brought into the Spider-Man universe, not essentially at first as Green Goblin, but as a man of influence and in the possibility of setting him up to get him out of the way. It could take for Spider-Man to be hunted in many ways. So I take, for instance, and I brought this up in the Agents and Nerds podcast, to where there was a movie called The Last Dragon, which I love, with Bruce Leroy. And after Eddie Arcadian could not physically beat Bruce Leroy at his own game, he compiled a gang of villains to just whoop his ass. Ultimately, if Norman Osborn wants to get the Sinister Six together, he might not bring everybody aboard. Of course, we just saw the death of Mysterio and certain other big bads. Vulture is locked away, but the thing is, if he brings most of them out, one of the big ones that I see him bringing to the fold is Kraven the Hunter, and there's speculation that he could be the villain in the next Spider-Man movie. And if this happens, the person that hires him in order to bring Spider-Man to his untimely death, Norman Osborn would be the one to get Kraven in the fold. But let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe to us at the Partynerdz Instagram page. Also at our Partynerdz YouTube page. Hit me up at Grandmaster FAQs on Instagram. And also July 21st, we will be at the Philadelphia Podcast Festival in the greater city of Philadelphia at Tattooed Moms on the 21st. That's a Sunday. And you can feel free to check out my Grandmaster FAQs playlist right here on YouTube. Any of my existing theories that may have popped out to you and have seen the fruition of the light of day, check them out. All right? Partynerdz, go.
Partynerdz, 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 Partynerdz. Partynerdz.